Welcome to the podcast, Young in Love.
It shocked you. I know you guys aren't expecting me, but I'm here and I'm in your faces. Oh, sorry. I'm in your ears. So I welcome you guys to another episode of Young in Love podcast. There's going to be a lot of changes from now onwards. So before I go into the topic of discussion for today, I'll just quickly run through all of these changes. And the first one is, besides the episode that is released on the first day of every month, I'm also going to be releasing an episode in between. So in a month, you can expect to get at least 2 episodes of the Young in Love podcast. The next one is feedback. Please leave your feedback on Jamit FM. If you want to leave a comment on any episode, Jamit allows you to do that. Leave your comments on Jamit FM, or you can even leave me a voice message on Anchor. Better still, you can write a review on Apple Podcast or Google Podcast. Or you can rate the podcast on any platform, any podcast platform that allows you to rate podcasts. Give it a 4-star rating, 5-star rating, as you're led to. My personal WhatsApp is not a great place for feedback. At all. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the Young in Love podcast, what are you waiting for? Subscription is totally free. You do not have to pay a dime to subscribe to the podcast or to listen to the podcast. So why not subscribe? Okay, so that's on that. About the extra episode you're going to be hearing, after the one released on the first day of every month, we're going to call it Through Kezia's Lens, because a lot of persons have been sending messages, Kezia, what do you think about this? Kezia, what do you think about this? And I have tried so hard to not hold myself out as a relationship expert, and that is because I do not have it together myself. So I figured that it would make sense if I give my opinion on some of these issues. And so for that reason, I will be creating an episode where I spew just my opinion. It might not be correct, it might be wrong, and please, my opinion is not advice. If you need counseling, if you need therapy, please see a professional. Don't say Kezia said though. If you need expert opinion, don't say Kezia said. Or if you need expert advice, this is strictly Kezia's opinion. And that's why I am going to be calling this one Through Kezia's Lens. That is, seeing things through my eyes, seeing things the way I see them, right? Okay, and I'm going to be keeping this one really short, between 5 to 10 minutes max, because what does Kezia have to say? Okay, so on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about men. And this is basically because from my analytics, I see that there are more men who listen to Young in Love podcast than there are women. Okay, so I'm dedicating this one to men. I understand that the society puts you under a lot of pressure. First of all, if you're a guy listening to this, for the person webbing you. Okay, so I'm back to being serious. If you're a guy listening to this, I understand that the society puts you under a lot of pressure to be something big, to be tough, because you're a man. You need to man up, you need to toughen up. But on this episode, I'm just going to remind you of 4 basic things that you should always remember as a man. And the first one is that you're human. It's okay to be vulnerable, right? You're human after all. Be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable in a healthy space, not in a toxic space, because toxic environments, toxic people will definitely take advantage of your vulnerability. So the key word here is in a healthy space. It's okay to be vulnerable in a healthy space. Secondly, you're allowed to show emotions. You're allowed to express your emotions. Don't bottle them up. If you feel something, say something. It's okay. As a man, you're allowed to show emotions. If you love, show it, say it. If you do not like a thing, say it. If you would rather exit a situation, you're not chickening out. You've chosen peace, walk away. It's totally fine. The third one is your manhood does not depend and is not determined by how much money you have or how many women you're able to sexually conquer. In quotes. I put conquer in quotes. You're a man first. Okay? You're a man first before you're a poor man, before you're a rich man, before you're an educated man, before you're a husband man, before you're a gentleman. You're a man first. So your manhood does not depend on any of these things. Because when you base your manhood on how much money you have, you begin to feel worthless when you do not have anything. Now, if you base your manhood on the fact that you have so much money, you begin to feel arrogant because you have a lot. That's why you might walk up to someone and start boasting about how much you make, how much you have, because you feel that that is what makes you a man. No. Again, your manhood is not determined by how much a woman respects you. You're a man before ever there was respect. Because if you base your manhood and how much a woman respects you and how submissive a woman is to you, the moment your woman disagrees with you, you begin to feel less of a man, and then you start feeling that urge to prove that you're the man. You're the man in the relationship. You're the man in the house. No, you're a man regardless. Whether she decides to be submissive to you, whether she agrees or disagrees with you, you're a man. Okay, so please do not base your manhood on any of these things. The fourth thing I want you to remember is this. If she wants to, she will. Okay, so when you're trying to woo a woman, if she wants to talk to you, she will. If she wants to be with you, she will. If she wants to reply your text, remember, she will. So I just need you guys to remember these 4 things. 1, you're human. It's okay to be vulnerable in a healthy space. Keywords being healthy space. You're allowed to show emotions. You're allowed to express your emotions. Again, your manhood does not depend and is not determined by how much money you make, how much women you're able to sexually conquer. It's not determined by how educated you are, how well a woman agrees with you, or how submissive a woman is to you. You're a man first, okay? Before you're a gentleman, an educated man, a poor man, a rich man, husband man, daddy man, whatever man, or whatever it is, you're a man first. Do not base your manhood on any of these things, because the moment you start basing your manhood on these things, you begin to feel threatened by a lack of them, and then you put yourself under undue pressure. Okay, and the last one is, if she wants to, she will. Because I hear a lot of people say, if he wants to, he will. If he wants to talk to you, he will. If he wants to text you, he will. But the same goes for the woman. If she wants to, she will. If she wants to talk to you, she will. If she wants to text you, she will. And if she wants to be with you, trust me, man, she will. So it's a wrap on today's episode of Young in Love through Kezia's lens. I promised I was going to keep this short, 5 to 10 minutes max. So till when next we meet, bye and be good. Thank Thank you for listening to this episode of Young in Love. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you did, you can rate us and write a review on Apple and Google Podcasts. Feel free to like our social media pages on Facebook and Instagram at YoungInLove_podcast. Share this podcast with your family and friends. Subscribe to Young in Love Podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support Young in Love Podcast, you can do this on our Patreon account by visiting patreon.com/younginlove and making a small monthly donation of as little as $1 every month or 350 naira monthly, or even bigger donations as you feel led to. But hey, if you cannot make any donations, that's fine too, because besides just money, Young in Love Podcast has thrived and will continue to thrive on the prayers and good wishes of good people like you. Until the next episode, bye and be good.
Young in Love.